Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of 10 Shed Shenanigans. Today is part 2 of the Cub Cadet Zero turn. If you haven't watched part 1, I highly suggest that you go back and do that. So let's just get right. Where we left off was I had fixed the wiring for the little PTO clutch right here. We got that hooked back up, got it secured so it's not going to rub on anything. I still need to get this exhaust connected, not with that. I'm gonna put a new fuel filter on it and, air the tire, change the oil. Before I change the oil and all that, I'm going to make sure it's not going to throw a belt, but I will throw a new fuel filter. So while we're letting this battery charge, we're going to go ahead and do an oil change because we know it runs, we know it drives. Let's see if I can get y'all set up so we can, come on, don't focus on that, focus on the filter. Okay, no, there you go. I have a filter here. I'm not sure if it's the correct filter, but I'm going to pull this one off and find out. If it is not the correct filter, I'll just put the old filter back on. And no, it was not that loose. I already broke it loose. It was just really hard to film getting that broke loose with a wrench in here and everything. Whew, that's some dark oil. Fish it out. Use my rag. It does smell a little burnt. They look like the same filter. Yeah, they're the same. Yeah, I bought this, got this filter in a kit for another lawnmower I had. Sold a while back, and I didn't need the oil filter, but it was cheaper to buy the kit with a spark plug, oil filter, and an air filter, and a fuel filter, because I really just needed the air filter. But I found the air filter for a few bucks, and then this kit was like $3 more, and I was like, well, it won't hurt to have that stuff around. And we can drop the new fill. Oh, forgot to. You can't really pre-fill these just because of where they sit. And it's sideways, but always make sure to put a little bit of oil on the O-ring and then some on the threads. And we'll just thread this on. Really long threads. Okay, ow. It's okay, I just kicked the exhaust. Alright, let's get my hand in here. And just kind of get it hand tight. You just don't want to be able to wiggle it off. Get my drain pan ready for when I remove the little drain line that they've got. There we go. Okay, and then a lot of these just have this little drain line and this nice placed hole you can feed it through. So let me get some tools. And I'll undo that line and feed it in and drain the oil out. At least, drain out what's left, because when I pulled the dipstick, there was nothing on the dipstick, which is why I decided to go ahead and do the oil change now while I'm waiting on that battery to charge. So for this little drain line, let's see if I can get it better in the frame. This little drain line right here, this big piece is a 3/4. I want to say that little square is either a 9/16 or a 1/2 inch. It's 1/2 inch. Most of the, yeah. Oh, actually, maybe it's 7/16. Don't think it's that small, though. Oh, maybe I was wrong. It is that small. Okay. So, easiest way to do it, get A lot of dirt just built up on it, that's all it is. You'll feed it through that hole so you can access it from underneath. Break it loose. Make sure you take the fill plug / dipstick out. So that way the oil can drain properly. And really you're supposed to, oh my gosh, yeah, there it goes. A little tight. Really you're supposed to take the filter off during the oil change, but I did not do that. Reasons, I wanted to see if that filter fit before I, drained every bit of oil out, and then had not had a filter that fit, and then all that. Okay, there's not a whole lot in there, so let's go get, I think this thing holds a little more than a quart. And the dipstick says SAE 30 or 1030. We're going to be using this 030, pretty much the same thing. This is European formula because I got it at Advanced Auto Parts 50% off. So that's why we're using this, because they didn't have any SAE 30. And it's draining. Normally you want to make sure the engine's warm when you're doing this so it kind of gets out all that sludge and everything. But the battery was dead. So I'm letting the battery charge. And I'm getting a new oil filter on it because it had no oil on the dipstick. And it's very, very little draining out now. But that's okay. We're getting it done. So once this gets done draining, I'll refill it, make sure it's the proper level, and then we'll fire it up and then see if it slings a belt. If it doesn't, then we'll start working on welding the exhaust and getting those blades sharpened. So we still got the battery on charge. I just kind of jumped it off a little bit to make sure my oil level was good. This one took 2 quarts of oil, and it's still right there at the full mark after filling the filter and everything. New fuel filter's pretty much primed up. It's got gas in it. Let's see, let's get her fired up. It's gonna get really loud for a second. Choke. Well, good. It ran, it drove, it cut really good. The blades were dull, and I know y'all didn't know really what it looked like back there, but a lot of sprigs sticking up. I just really needed to clean it up. I just haven't, had the time, or I haven't had a battery in my lawnmower. So I got it cleaned up back here. Next step is going to be, I know y'all couldn't hear it, but the spindles were a little noisy, so I'm going to jack it up. Now I got a grease gun. I'm going to jack it up get under there, grease up those fittings on 2 of them, take the blades off and sharpen them, and then we'll get to welding the exhaust. But oil change is done, fuel filter's done, all the wheels are on the deck. So yeah, and you know, the battery took a charge pretty good, so that's good. Guys, well, I got the spindles greased. I was gonna sharpen the blades, but they actually look and feel pretty dang sharp. I'm not gonna mess with those, the blades at least, but I am gonna try and remedy this. So y'all may be in for a treat, because I've never welded on an exhaust. I have welded the nuts, or the broken bolts. I welded a nut to that broken bolt to get the exhaust manifolds off my truck, because they decided that they wanted to break, which eventually I may do a video on, you know, something like that, but I won't be able to do it exactly on that because my my truck is now fixed. So since I've been running this, I'm gonna go grab some gloves so I don't burn my hand off. Okay, I got some gloves. I just need one to grab this muffler, which, oh my, the baffles are blown out. That's interesting. You can tell though, we may be able to just kind of weld some nuts here and here and here and feed those through, because originally that's how these are designed. Is, I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me get y'all a little bit closer. Normally these are designed where there's 4 bolts that hold the muffler on and you just tighten it. So we may just weld, clean this up a little bit, try and straighten this back out. That's all dented in. And the baffles are just about blown out, so it's not really going to do much, but we can weld some nuts there and there and there and there, and at least be able to bolt this exhaust on so it won't look so bad. So let's get the grinder out with the buffing wheel so we can clean up the surfaces, and then we'll get the welder out and I'll see if I can't tack some nuts on and then make sure that they bolt all the way through. We may have to widen those holes a little bit, and right, yeah, guys, we'll go from there. For me, I had 4 nuts and bolts and washers all together. So unfortunately, they're just a tad smaller than the holes that are already on the muffler and everything. So I'm going to take my Harbor Freight step bit and just kind of bigify the holes. Yep, bigify. That's oh, beautiful. Almost. Okay, the bottom ones are good. Top ones need a little more. Beautiful. Now let's do the same thing on the muffler, and then we'll drag the welder out here. And this one needs a little more. All right. And then we'll go grab the, let's see, can they screw in like this? I'm sure they can. Yeah. Let's go grab the angle grinder, and we'll, you know, smooth all these up so they're nice and flat. Maybe hit them with a hammer a few times to kind of round everything out, or flatten everything out. And then we'll be ready to tack weld them on and bolt it on. And then it may or may not be quieter. I don't know. Especially with these baffles being blown out like this. But it's it'll look better, at least. So that's something. As a wise man once said, I don't know if it's fixed, but it's different. That's from Kevin from not Pole Barn Garage, from Junkyard Digs. If you like this type of content, I would highly recommend watching Pole Barn Garage and Junkyard Digs. They're some of my favorite YouTubers. If y'all could share this video with them, and I could get them to like one of my videos, that would be awesome. That would make my day. All right. Before I start welding on this, I'm going to say this. Do not weld without some type of shield or face covering, a shield preferably. As much as I hate to say it, safety squints are not an option when it comes to welding. I've had arc burn so bad, it felt like I was blinking on pine cones. It is not fun. Please do not weld without a shield or some type of eye covering that is sufficient enough for these type of rays. That's why I have this. I didn't use it the first time and it bit me. So, I'm going to say that. Okay, well that looks awful. But they're on there. They're not going to come off. So, yeah. Wow. I really need to practice my welding. Seeing as how these are very worn out, an old trick you can do is right there at the flange, or right there at the pipe where it comes down, you can wrap aluminum foil and pack it in really tight, and that way when you put it on, it stays on there. So let's go inside and get some aluminum foil, and then I'll screw it on and bolt this thing down, and we'll fire it up and see if it's any quieter. It probably won't be because the baffles are shot, but all right, guys. It's getting late and cold, but exhaust is bolted on. I'm gonna fire it up, see if it made it any quieter. And really, that's pretty much it for this lawnmower. Getting all my tools picked up. That's pretty much it for this lawnmower. It runs, it drives, it cuts. It actually cuts really good. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. I noticed on part 1 of this video we had over 100 views. So thank you for everyone who watched. Thank you for everyone who watched this video as well. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. Really appreciate it. So let's get this thing fired up. Let's make sure park brake's on. These are on. Pull choke out. Let's see. Oh, let's put it on engine start. Get all this hooked up. Well, it's a little bit quieter anyway. Guys, really appreciate it for watching this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, like I said before, and share this video. If I can get up to 50 subscribers, then I can start doing lives, and at 1,000 views for every video, YouTube will start paying me. So yeah, let's try and strive for that. Thank you for watching. This has been another episode of 10 Shed Shenanigans.